Good afternoon and welcome to the Blue Bee. I am so excited to have you here. Once you join, please let me know where you're watching from, and I would love to hear what you're creating today. What are we going to create today? So I did a little bit of junking, and I'm just going to wait a few minutes to see if anybody tunes in. But in the meantime, I did do a little bit of junking, and today I wanted to repurpose by using our hello. Please let us know where you're watching from. I'd love to give you a shout out. So I did a little bit of repurposing, and I found this beautiful toolbox. And we all know, I'm going to move this down. We all know that steampunk is super cool and in right now. So I just wanted to recycle or upcycle and give a little bit of fresh flair to this toolbox. Now, one thing that I did before I went on this morning was I took my Fusion Mineral Paint Tough Coat, and I added a layer. Well, actually, before I did that, so I'm already backwards. Before I even added my Tough Coat, I took a sand block and I sanded this down to get all of the chip paint that was coming up. I took that first, and then I gave it a thorough cleaning using the Fusion Mineral Paint TSP alternative. And then I went ahead and I used this Tough Coat and just gave it a thin layer. Okay, just a very thin layer of this Tough Coat on top of it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use this Eploration IOD transfer. And if anybody's watching and you're local, and you're like, hey, I have 1 o'clock available and you'd love to come be my video person, I would absolutely love it. So one thing that I love about IOD transfers is the versatility of being able to cut them apart and use them for so many different pieces. And I have decided I'm going to put my bicycle right here on the front. So all I did was just cut it out of my IOD transfer book. And I'm going to do a little bit of a cut right here so that lays a little bit easier on my lock. But I love how you can just cut up those transfers and use them for so many different things. Now I'm going to lay this down, and I want this bicycle to go right here. Now, I don't mind at all if it doesn't go on perfect, because if you notice, this is a very vintage toolbox. So we have already a very aged look. And to keep with the consistency of the aged look, I don't mind at all if my transfer doesn't completely go down. So we're just going to lay that on there. And in your transfer pack, you're going to have, it's going to come with one of these plastic sticks. Sometimes I like using a broader base stick, but these are fabulous. And they are a little bit flexible, so you can get into those nooks and crannies if you need to. I like to do the peel and method, which I call the peel and method, is peel and put pressure down on my transfer. So we do have like this transfer type plastic over it. It's beautiful because it does have the guidelines if you're wanting to make sure that you're lining your project up. And I like to just go over it and then peel as I go. You can see when it starts to stick to your base surface because it pulls away from the main tape. Okay, so we already have our bicycle put on there onto our toolbox, which is gorgeous. And then you can just take the flip side, not the side that it's stuck to, but you can take the flip side and just kind of use that to varnish it down. Okay, and that is just going to make sure that goes all the way down. So do we have any questions so far on this process? I think these are so much fun, and you can create them however you like. There are so many different designs included in this pack. And I like to keep direction. So like this right here is still moving my eye. You guys can't see it. But if I put this one right here, right there, it's still moving my eye off the surface. So we're going to continue to look through our pack here and see if we can find any of them that's going to pull our eye back onto our surface. I could put this beautiful that'd be really pretty. Or this air balloon. I love the thought of this one because this one reminds me of my grandfather. He was a woodworker, but he was an engineer mind. And he built planes for World War II. And so he used a compass. And I just love the thought of going over edges because I think it gives it visual interest quite a bit. So we're going to go over our edge here. And I like to just make sure I have one of my edges laid down. And of course, I have a creative collection over here. But we're going to lay one of our edges down. And then we're just going to go over our edge. And where it is a little bit more textured, you're going to want to use those corners of your stick to just kind of get in those edges. And that's another good reason why to put down a tough coat first. So it does not, the paint doesn't peel up when you're trying to adhere your transfer down. Okay, so we put that one down. This one has a lot of gears and a lot of introduction to the Industrial Revolution era from the, we can do a collage of gears and such over here. So from the agricultural era to the Industrial Revolution era. And I'm going to flip this up a little. So I think this would be fun for, say you have your grandfather's or your father's old toolbox. Say you inherited that, or their fishing tackle box, you know, the old metal kind. You could even do this on plastic if you wanted. But say you have that. This, I think this is, and you had a little boy. This is super, super cute for them to create with you and keep all of their fun little toys or trinkets in it. Or if you just are like me and you absolutely love that rustic kind of look. You can keep your paintbrushes. I know I've kept my paintbrushes in them. I've kept my paint in them in the past. And in those areas, just cut it and then just go over where it goes over that crease line, okay? Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, thank you. So on this side, I'm just adding a collage of different gears and springs. And another really cool thing about this set, it also has words. So it has letters. It doesn't have words, but it does have letters. So another really fun thing is you could personalize it. So the you could put somebody's name on it if you wanted, favorite saying on it if you wanted. So if you notice, using these tools with the IMB transfer is so much fun, and it just makes this toolbox kind of have a second life. I love repurpose visionary, where you can see something and then you're just bringing a second life to it. And so it just makes it pretty neat. Keeping the history of the original box. You don't have to if you don't want to. Okay. Just working on the top right there. Sorry, the angle is awful, and I do apologize for that. And even if you wanted to layer and go on top of each other, you can even do that with these. You don't have to do single layer of these. You can layer them. So don't forget your sides. Always need to remember our sides of things. It never fits. So we're just gonna go on our sides here. If you wanted to, you could have painted the toolbox, and I highly recommend using Fusion Mineral Paint for that. And then you would not need to use the Tough Coat on top of that. I decided I wanted to keep the original patina with my toolbox and just make a little bit more of a creative look with it. But I do love, 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 love how this looks. It is so much fun. And I even think that you could use this for if you have a coffee station in your house. and you love vintage wares, you could even use this to hold all of your coffee type products. If you're a Keurig person, you could put all your K-cups in it, or if you are a person that does a French press, you know, you could store your French press in it and just store your specialty sugars and all of those wonderful flavors. So there are so many things that you can upcycle a toolbox out of, because there's so much space inside of them. And I would highly suggest that you make sure that you're just paying attention to every angle when you are working a project. You just want to make sure that you're looking at every angle with it. And I just like the flow of things. I try to picture the flow of how my eye is going to move. I'm not going to add any of those today. I do want to add this cute ship somewhere, so I'll probably add my ship just right here on my side. We'll see if I have, we'll add this guy up in the air. Okay. And I just like to take my thumb and go along those edges, and just kind of seal them in. You can use the paper, you can use your thumb, or even a sponge, and we're going to get along those tight spots right there. Okay. If I have any other little pieces that I can use for this project. And it appears that I only have one. This fun little rope here. I find this rope a little awkward. So I don't think I'm going to go ahead and use it. So here is a better view. And I do apologize for my angle. Okay, so there it is, and that is how simple it is to use the IOD Exploration transfer set to upcycle a beautiful toolbox. And now it is all ready for somebody to come purchase it and use it. I would love to hear what you're going to use it for. Just let me know. And it is available now at the Blue Bee. Thanks so much for joining me. I would love to hear what you're creating today. Stay tuned because we'll be creating again tomorrow. Okay, Bye.